Hey guys, this is some new packages I got from eBay recently. So let's have a look at those. I love the fact that this one comes in some sort of pink wrapper. Let's have a look. They're all sort of ripped apart and ravaged because I wanted to get the addresses off from there and what have you. But here's the first one. And this is Project 02 for the original Xbox. It's a strange thing. I love survival horror games, and I loved Resident Evil back in the day, and then eventually I got into Silent Hill in the sort of early noughties, if you want to call it that. And I remember thinking, I saw Siren when that first came out as well, and I thought that looked pretty cool. And I'd heard that these were absolutely brilliant. So I remember going out and buying both of them for about a £5, or something really cheap. And put them in, had a go, didn't like it, and then sold them. And long story short, now these things have gone up in value. This one actually cost me about a tenner to get hold of. $12.99 actually it was on eBay. And I'm hoping this time through I'll certainly get into it. I do have the original Project Zero for the Xbox as well. Obviously I'm going to play that first. But yeah, I hear these games are really good. It's different to most survival horror games because instead of being armed with a gun or what have you, basically from memory, I think you just run from the ghost, or maybe you kill them using photography. I know there's a big photography sort of aspect to this game. Evidently, as you can tell by my nattering here, I don't know a great deal about it. But I'm really looking forward to playing it. It looks so stylish. It looks really interesting. And, I've never just had the opportunity to play through it. Or never given myself the opportunity. So let's have a look at the disc. This is in pretty good shape. Manual's in good shape. A few scuff marks at the bottom there, but all in all, not too bad. It's really annoying actually because there are two of these on eBay, and they both have pictures that were basically like what you can see here, and they both said complete. And there I was being as ridiculous as only I can be, zooming into the images, trying to see any creases and then find out which one was the best, or at least in best shape. But whether or not I chose the right one, who knows? But I'm satisfied with this, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, that's Project 02 Crimson Butterfly, the director's cut. Now, if you're interested in these games, 1 and 2 came out on the PlayStation 2 and the Xbox. But the third Project Zero game, I think this is right, only came out on the PlayStation 2. And I think there's also a fourth one that came out on the Wii, but only in Japan, which is a complete bummer. But yeah, I certainly look forward to playing that one. So the next package is this in here. And, oh god, let's just rip that apart. This, I don't know if a lot of people would have heard of this, but let's have a look. This is Kingsfield 4 from Software for the PlayStation 2. Now, the Kingsfield games is something I mentioned in a recent video. I don't know if that will be uploaded before this or after, though, so not much point referring to it. But they started out on the PlayStation 1, and they were basically first-person RPGs, and they had some really bad graphics, although they were appropriate for the time. But I really enjoyed the idea of just sort of going around with a first-person perspective and playing through an RPG, sort of like Oblivion. I think it was the first-person view in Morrowind. Honestly, can't remember, but in that sort of vein. But before those games, or at least definitely before Oblivion. In fact, what am I about? Yeah, it came out in the PlayStation era, so obviously it's before both those games. And that's just the appeal of it for me. It seems really interesting. The PlayStation ones, like I say, have got bad graphics, but it's such a fascinating game. And it's got your typical RPG conventions. Like the first enemy I remember facing in the original Kingsfield was a plant, an angry plant. And also, if you walk in water, you immediately die. It's just sort of very contrived in some fashions. But I really look forward to playing this. I like the first-person sort of perspective RPG. I really do. Camera got cut off there. What I was going to say was that this game reminds me a little bit of Arx Fatalis, the Xbox and PC RPG. Another sort of first-person role-playing game. Again, really interesting game. But yeah, I've only played Kingsfield 1 and 2. I'm guessing Kingsfield 3 might have been a Japan-only release for the PlayStation 1. Not 100% sure there, but I've certainly not managed to find it. So let's see what it offers. Intriguing new storyline. 40 areas of first-per-sun exploration. Discover weapons, magic, your basic RPG things here. Let's see what kind of shape she's in. Looks pretty good. And obviously the manual's there, also in pretty good shape as well, looks scuffed at the top. But again, really looking forward to playing this. I don't know a great deal about it, other than, the precursors, how they play. So that's the first two. which I'm really pleased with these pickups, I must say. And there's one left. Let's get this one out of the bag. Now, I had a bit of a sort of survival horror thing going on this month, as you can see, so I bought Clock Tower 3. I'm a fan of the original Clock Tower games, the 1 and 2 for the PlayStation, which were effectively point-and-click adventures using sort of polygonal graphics. And they look pretty primitive now, but they were kind of fun back in the day, and they were a little bit spooky as well. I really sort of appreciated them. This one is a bit of a departure from that, in the sense that it plays more like a third-person survival horror game, a la Silent Hill or Resident Evil. Sort of more traditional, but it was the first of the series, and it looks really interesting. It really does. The story seems quite fascinating, from what I've seen from the trailers and what have you. And like I say, it plays more like the sort of Resident Evil games. What's this? Here with a note. Cheat codes. I always find it funny when people give you cheat codes in this sort of day and age of the internet, where, you know, I can have all the cheats in existence for this game on my iPhone in about, what, a minute? But it's still kind of funny to see that. I mean, for all I know, it was a little kid or something. A little kid who has much better handwriting than me. Nonetheless, so look, an ugly disc. It's in good shape as well. Manual seems to be pretty good shape as well. So another complete one. Like I say, I can't give you a great deal of information about Clock Tower 3, other than to say it is a departure from the traditional sort of Clock Tower games. Of which was actually one on the SNES as well, which I didn't know about until recently. I think it was only released in Japan. And that looks really interesting. It's a shame you can't get an English translation. But nonetheless, I'll stop waffling here. There you go, there's my new pickups from eBay. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, there'll be another one shortly.
5, 4, 7